thanks to Miss Adamson, I wrote at the top of the script, go live, so that I can stop forgetting to do that. Okay, so, all right, I'm ready to go. So let's turn the cameras around.
Here, Van, stand up then.
Good morning, everyone. This is your first appearance here before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County.
Muy buenos días a todos. Esta es su comparecencia inicial ante el Tribunal de Primera Instancia del Condado de Clayton.
My name is Brad Gardner, and I'm a judge in this court.
Mi nombre es Brad Gardner y yo soy un juez en este tribunal.
I'm not here to conduct a trial of your case or to take a plea in your case.
Yo no estoy acá para tener un juicio en su caso o para aceptar una declaración a cargos.
I'm here to inform you of the charges that have been filed against you,
Yo estoy acá para informarle cuáles son los cargos que se le han imputado,
to advise you of certain rights,
para decirles cuáles son sus derechos,
to set bail on those offenses that I'm authorized to set bail,
para otorgarle fianza en aquellos delitos que se me permite otorgarle fianza,
to schedule a preliminary hearing,
para programar una audiencia preliminar,
and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney.
y para determinar si usted requiere la asistencia de un abogado.
You have the right to remain silent and say nothing.
Usted tiene el derecho de permanecer en silencio y no de decir nada,
But should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you.
pero si usted renuncia a este derecho, cualquier cosa que usted diga durante este proceso podría ser usado en su contra.
So please don't discuss the facts of your case.
Para que por favor no hable de cómo ocurrieron los hechos.
During this and all other proceedings, you have the following rights.
Durante este y todo el proceso siguiente, usted tiene los siguientes derechos.
The right to the presumption of innocence.
El derecho a la presunción de inocencia,
The right to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors.
el derecho de que se le formule una acusación por el jurado indagatorio si es un delito grave y que se le formule una acusación si es un delito menor.
The right to a speedy and public trial by jury.
El derecho de tener un juicio público, rápido y por jurado.
The right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you.
El derecho de ver, escuchar y contrainterrogar a los testigos que sean citados a testificar en su contra.
The right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf.
El derecho de citar a testigos para que testifiquen a su favor.
The right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense.
El derecho de testificar a su favor o de presentar pruebas para que sean usadas en su defensa.
The right to have an attorney represent you.
El derecho de tener un abogado para que lo represente.
If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify.
Si usted no pudiera contratarse un abogado, se le podría nombrar uno si usted califica.
Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail.
Alguno de ustedes se le va a permitir pagar la fianza sin restricción para poderle dejar salir de la cárcel.
These bonds may be posted by cash, commercial, or property.
Estas fianzas podrían ser pagadas en efectivo, usando una compañía fiancista o usando una propiedad.
If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount of the bond and fees in cash to the sheriff's office.
Si usted paga su fianza en efectivo, alguien tiene que traer la cantidad total de su fianza más las tarifas adicionales a la comisaría.
The sheriff's office will hold the cash and return it at the end of your case.
La comisaría se quedaría con este dinero y se lo reembolsaría hasta al final de su caso.
If you use a commercial bonding company, someone will have to pay a fee to the company for their service.
Si usted usa una compañía de fianzas, alguien tendría que pagarle las tarifas a la compañía de fianzas por sus servicios.
The fee will not be returned.
Pero esta tarifa no le sería reembolsada.
I don't know what fee will be charged, but it is usually based upon a percentage of the bond.
Yo no sé cuál sería la tarifa que le cobrarían, pero generalmente está basado en un porcentaje de la fianza.
Finally, if you use property to post a bond, a property will need to have a net equity at least 3 times the total amount of the bond.
Finalmente, si usted usa una propiedad para pagar su fianza, la propiedad tendría que tener por lo menos 3 veces en capital neto la cantidad total de su fianza.
Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going to certain places.
Algunos de ustedes van a tener condiciones especiales en su fianza en las que se le prohíbe ponerse en contacto con ciertas personas o de que vayan a ciertos lugares.
This special condition will be provided to you on a separate form.
Y estas condiciones especiales se le van a dar a ustedes en un formulario por separado.
You will also be prohibited from contacting the victim while you are in jail.
También se le va a prohibir que usted se ponga en contacto con la víctima mientras usted esté encarcelado.
If you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you could remain in jail until your trial.
Si usted no cumple las órdenes del juez, su fianza sería revocada y usted tendría que permanecer encarcelado hasta que su caso vaya a juicio.
You could also receive additional felony charges.
Y también se le podrían imputar cargos adicionales por delito grave.
It is important to note that if someone is listed as a victim in your case, that person will not be allowed to post your bond.
Es importante saber que si una persona está nombrada como la víctima, en su caso, a esa persona no se le va a permitir pagar la fianza por usted.
Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is not authorized by law to set bail.
Alguno de ustedes se le acusa de delitos por los cuales a este juez no se le permite por ley otorgarle fianza.
In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a judge of the Superior Court of Clayton County, and you will be informed of that date.
En ese caso, una audiencia para pedir fianza va a ser programada ante un juez del Tribunal Superior del Condado de Clayton y a usted se le va a informar cuándo va a ser la fecha.
If you are currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set bond at this time.
Si actualmente usted está bajo libertad condicional, a este juez no se le permite otorgarle fianza en estos momentos.
Whether bond is appropriate in your case will be reconsidered after your probation officer has had an opportunity to consider this new arrest.
Si la fianza es apropiada en este caso, sería tomada en consideración nuevamente después que el agente de libertad condicional haya tenido la oportunidad de tomar en cuenta este nuevo arresto.
The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to support the allegations against you.
El propósito de la audiencia preliminar es determinar si hay suficientes pruebas para sustentar las alegaciones en su contra.
The standard at this stage is very low.
Y los estándares en esta etapa son muy bajos.
A judge determining whether a charge goes forward at this stage only has to determine that it is possible that the crime has occurred.
Para que un juez determine si un cargo procede en esta etapa, solamente tiene que determinar que existe la posibilidad de que el delito fue cometido.
Everyone has the ability to waive their right to a preliminary hearing.
Todos tienen la habilidad de renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar.
However, you should speak to a lawyer first if you are unsure about whether it is appropriate to waive your preliminary hearing.
Sin embargo, usted debe de hablar con un abogado primero si usted no está seguro si es apropiado renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar.
If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived.
Si usted paga su fianza, su audiencia preliminar se cancela automáticamente.
You will receive notice at the address you give of your next court date.
Usted va a recibir una notificación en la dirección que usted dé de cuándo va a ser su próxima corte.
Lastly, I need everyone to raise your right hand.
Y finalmente, yo necesito que todos levanten su mano derecha.
Do you swear or affirm that any statements you make during this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
¿Jura usted y afirma que cualquier declaración que usted dé durante este proceso va a ser la verdad, toda la verdad, y nada más que la verdad lo jura ante Dios?
Okay, let's get started on the male side with Mr. Valdez, Mr. Vega, and then finally Mr. And I'm going to say Mr. Mario because I can't pronounce the last name. I'm going to get me a glass of water, so just give me one moment. Okay. So do we have Mr. Valdez and Mr. Vega? Okay. So, sir, well, let me ask this question. Both of you gentlemen, can you see and understand the interpreter?
A ustedes dos caballeros, ¿pueden ustedes ver y entender a la intérprete? Yes.
Mr. Valdez, would you raise your hand?
Señor Valdés, ¿podría usted levantar su mano derecha?
Okay. Mr. Valdez.
Señor Valdés.
Sir, you were charged with failing to register on the sex offender registry.
Señora, usted se le acusa de no haberse registrado en la lista de delincuentes sexuales.
This warrant was obtained on November 14th of 2007.
Esta orden de arresto fue obtenida I'm sorry, Judge, November
14th of 2007.
Esta orden de arresto fue obtenida el día 14 de noviembre del 2007.
And the weird part about this is I'm the judge that signed the warrant back in November 14th of 2007.
Y lo raro de todo esto es que yo fui el juez que firmé la orden el día 14 de noviembre del 2007.
This is a felony offense.
Esto es un delito grave.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for July 14th of this year.
Usted va a
of
tener
2021.
una audiencia preliminar programada para el día 14 de julio del 2021.
At 8:30 in the morning.
A las 8:30 de la mañana.
That date will get waived upon your bonding out.
Y esta audiencia se cancela si usted sale bajo fianza.
You're going to have a bond set at $5,000.
Su fianza va a ser de $5,000.
Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
¿Cree usted que va a poder pagar esa fianza, señor?
A ver, sí.
I think, maybe.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
¿Quiere usted que yo vea si usted califica para nombrarle un abogado?
Sí.
Yes.
Are you currently employed, Mr. Valdez?
Señor Valdés, ¿actualmente está usted trabajando? ¿Me dijo que no? No.
Okay. Sir, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Señor, usted sí califica y yo le voy a nombrar un abogado para que lo represente.
Do you have any questions for me?
¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta para mí? ¿Me dijo que no? No, it's fine.
Okay, sir, you're free to go back.
Ok, señor, puede retirarse.
Mr. Vega.
Señor Vega,
Mr. Vega, you're charged with one count of driving a vehicle without a license.
señor Vega, a usted se le acusa de un cargo de conducir un vehículo sin licencia de conducir.
The bond is set by schedule at $1,000.
Por ley, su fianza está fija a $1,000.
Do you believe you can pay that bond, sir?
¿Cree usted que va a poder pagar su fianza, señor?
Tal vez sí, yo creo que sí.
¿Me dijo que sí?
Tal vez sí.
Maybe.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for July 13th.
Su audiencia preliminar va a estar fija para el día 13 de julio.
That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail.
Esta audiencia se cancela tan pronto usted pague su fianza y salga, y usted recibiría un nuevo citatorio por correo.
Okay. Sí, sí quiero pagarlo. Sí puedo pagarlo.
Yes, I could pay it.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
¿Le gustaría a usted que yo vea si usted califica para nombrarle un abogado?
Sí.
Yes.
Are you currently working, Mr. Vega?
Actualmente, ¿está usted trabajando, señor Vega?
Sí, sí estaba trabajando. Un poco.
Just a little bit.
How much do you make per hour?
¿Cuánto gana usted por hora?
Aproximadamente 17, entre 15 y 17 dólares.
Between $15 and $17.
Okay, sir, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Ok, señor, usted sí califica y yo le voy a nombrar un abogado para que lo represente.
Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Vega?
¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta para mí, señor Vega?
Solo, ¿cómo puedo hacer para comunicarme con mis familiares para ver si pagan mi fianza?
Just what can I do to get in touch with my family so they can pay my bond?
You will be allowed to use the phones after this hearing.
A usted se le va a permitir usar el teléfono después de esta audiencia.
I cannot tell you exactly when because that's within the sheriff's department's authority.
Yo no le puedo decir exactamente cuándo, porque eso es la autoridad de la comisaría.
But I know that you will be allowed to use phones.
Pero yo sé que le van a permitir usar el teléfono.
Is there anything else, sir?
¿Algo más, señor? No.
Okay, finally, let's deal with Mr. Mario.
Finalmente vamos a lidiar con el señor Mario.
Is it Mr. Grijalva?
Grijalva. Grijalva.
Sir, can you hear and understand the interpreter?
Señor, ¿puede usted escuchar y entender a la intérprete? Yes.
You are here on a warrant which is called a fugitive from justice.
Usted está acá en una orden de arresto, la cual se llama, se dice que usted es fugitivo de la justicia.
And what that means is that you're being held not because of a charge in Clayton County.
Y lo que esto significa es que usted está siendo detenido no porque usted tenga cargos en el condado de Clayton.
You're being held on a warrant from Austin, Texas for a felony offense.
Usted está siendo detenido de Austin, Texas por un delito grave.
I won't discuss the name of the offense, but do you understand the charge that you're being held on?
Yo no le voy a decir cuál es el delito, pero usted entiende el cargo por el cual usted está siendo detenido? Yes.
All of the rights and privileges that I discussed earlier apply to you.
Todos los derechos y privilegios de los cuales yo hablé anteriormente les aplican a usted.
As it relates to the fugitive from justice charge, there's a slight difference.
Pero cuando tiene que ver con el cargo de ser un fugitivo de la justicia, hay una pequeña diferencia.
You are being held because Texas has indicated to the Clayton County Sheriff's Department that they want your return.
Usted está siendo detenido porque Texas le ha dicho a la comisaría del condado de Clayton que quiere que usted sea devuelto allá.
And they've indicated they want your return on these specific charges.
Y ellos han indicado que ellos quieren que usted sea devuelto por estos cargos específicamente.
You have a right to challenge this process.
Usted tiene el derecho de desafiar este proceso.
You can challenge the process on the basis that you are not the person named or the charge that they want you on is not a criminal offense.
Usted puede desafiar este proceso diciendo que usted no es la persona nombrada o de que el delito no es un delito que existe en este estado.
If you were to choose to challenge this extradition warrant, you would have a hearing within the next 30 days.
Si usted decide desafiar el proceso de extradición, usted tendría una audiencia dentro de los próximos 30 días.
And the purpose of that hearing would be to determine whether you are the person named in the warrant and whether the charge in the warrant is an actual criminal offense.
Y el propósito de esta audiencia sería determinar si usted es la persona nombrada en la orden de arresto y si el delito nombrado es un delito que existe en ese estado.
The purpose of the hearing would not be to determine whether you are guilty or innocent of the offense.
El propósito de la audiencia no va a ser determinar si usted es culpable o inocente del delito.
If at the end of that hearing, there is a determination that you are the person named in the warrant and that it is a criminal offense, a judge would sign off on the extradition warrant and then the clock would start to tick for you to get sent back to Texas.
Si al final de esta audiencia se determina que en realidad usted es la persona nombrada en la orden de arresto y que este es un delito que sí existe en este estado, entonces el juez firmaría la orden para usted ser enviado de nuevo a Texas y el tiempo comenzaría a correr.
You also have the right to waive that hearing.
Usted también tiene el derecho de renunciar a tener esa audiencia, o sea, de no tenerla.
And if you were to waive that hearing, the clock would begin to run for Texas to come and get you.
Y si usted renuncia a esa audiencia, entonces el tiempo comenzaría a correr en el día de hoy para que Texas venga a buscarlo.
So generally, there is a 30 to 60 day period from which any state has to come and obtain a fugitive.
Generalmente a un periodo de 30 a 60 días, donde cualquier estado tiene que venir y buscar al fugitivo.
So if you were to waive your right to that hearing I discussed earlier, that 30 to 60 day window would begin to run today.
O sea que si usted renuncia a la audiencia que nosotros hablamos anteriormente, esa ventana de tiempo, o sea, ese proceso de tiempo de 30 a 60 días comenzaría a correr en el día de hoy.
If you were to determine or decide to have the hearing where you're challenging the warrant, the 30 to 60 day period will begin to run the day that the hearing is held.
Si usted decidiera tener la audiencia para desafiar la orden, entonces el periodo comenzaría a correr, el periodo de 30 a 60 días comenzaría a correr el día que usted tenga la audiencia.
Do you have a lawyer representing you on these charges in Texas?
¿Usted tiene un abogado que lo está representando en estos cargos en Texas?
No.
No.
Have you hired a lawyer to represent you here in Georgia as it relates to this offense?
¿Ha contratado usted un abogado para que lo represente acá en Georgia cuando tiene que ver con este delito?
No, porque no sabía, cuando la policía me paró, no sabía la razón por qué me pararon, apenas hasta ahorita me estoy dando cuenta.
No, because when the police pulled me over, I didn't know what was the reason why they pulled me over.
Have you had an opportunity to think about this issue?
¿Ha tenido usted la oportunidad de pensar en este asunto?
Sí, ¿cuáles serían las opciones que tengo?
¿No le escucho?
¿Cuáles serían las opciones que tengo?
Yes, what are the options I have?
The options that you currently have are to waive the extradition hearing or to request to have a hearing to determine whether you should be extradited.
Las opciones que usted tiene es de renunciar a tener al proceso de extradición, o a detener la audiencia, o tener la audiencia para ver si usted debe ser extraditado.
El oficial de ayer me informó que tengo dos opciones. Una es de que si firmo ahora, vienen por mí dentro de 30 días, entre medio de 30 días. Y si no firmo, entonces me darían 6 meses aquí como quiera y sería extraditado para atrás.
The officer told me that I have two choices. That I can sign the extradition papers and I'll be here for 30 days. Or I could have the hearing and I could be here up to 6 months.
So I'm not going to say that that is correct.
Yo no le voy a decir que eso está correcto.
Ok, entonces, si puede darme las dos mejores opciones, ¿me entiendes? Es como si tú me dices que renuncia a lo primero, entonces es como yo estarme negando, pero al
No le
final...
estoy entendiendo, señor. Judge, the interpreter is not understanding.
Mira, la cosa es que me dan dos opciones. Si renuncio a lo primero, como quiera aquí voy a estar, ¿sí me entiendes? Y voy a tener una
Deme un momentito. So the thing is that they give me two choices. And if I waive it, then I'm just going to stay here anyways.
I am going to be as direct with you as I can about this process, okay?
Ok, yo voy a ser lo más directo posible con usted con respecto a este proceso.
Clayton County has no interest as to whether you're guilty or innocent of the charges against you.
El condado de Clayton no tiene ningún interés en saber si usted es culpable o inocente de estos cargos.
Clayton County is required by agreement with all other states to hold you unless and until Texas comes and gets you.
Al condado de Clayton se le requiere por acuerdo con los otros estados a detenerlo hasta que Texas lo venga a buscar.
No one knows when that date will be.
Y nadie sabe cuándo va a ser ese día.
Texas has up to 60 days to come and get you.
Pero Texas tiene hasta 60 días para venir a buscarlo.
If Texas does not come and get you, you will be released.
Y si Texas no viene a buscarlo, a usted lo pondrían en libertad.
So 5 minutes after your release, you can encounter a police officer and that warrant will still be valid.
O sea que 5 minutos después que a usted lo pongan en libertad, usted podría ponerse en contacto con un agente del orden público y esa orden de arresto todavía estaría vigente.
And you could be taken back into custody and this whole process starts all over.
Y a usted lo podrían encarcelar y este proceso tendría que comenzar de nuevo.
Your best option is to hire a lawyer to represent you in Texas on these charges.
Su mejor opción es que usted se contrate un abogado en Texas para que lo represente en estos cargos.
Or you can waive your extradition hearing and take a chance that Texas will not come and get you.
O usted podría renunciar a tener la audiencia de extradición y tomar la oportunidad de que a lo mejor Texas no lo venga a buscar.
Finally,
Se puede dar la oportunidad de que Texas no lo venga a buscar.
finally, you could request a hearing where the judge will determine whether you are the person named in the warrant and whether the warrant exists.
Y finalmente usted podría tener la audiencia para que el juez determine que usted es la persona nombrada en la orden de arresto y que la orden de arresto existe.
I generally advise people that if you believe that you are the person named in the warrant and there's a possibility that the warrant exists, that you may want to just address these charges head on.
Generalmente yo le aconsejo a las personas que si usted sabe que usted es la persona nombrada en la orden de arresto y de que estos cargos existen, que solamente lidie directamente con estos cargos.
But that's not a determination for me to make. That's a determination for you to make.
Pero eso no es algo que yo lo puedo decidir, eso es algo que usted tiene que decidir.
Has this helped enlighten you a little bit about this process?
¿Esto le ha ayudado a entender un poquito el proceso?
Sí.
Yes.
Do you have any questions for me?
¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta para mí?
De algún modo, podría haber un modo de que yo firme y vengan y me levanten antes. Como quiera, tengo que ir a Texas a pelear eso. De aquí
Que sea de algún modo.
Sí, ahora en este momento que estoy hablando con ustedes, hay un modo de que yo firme un papel para que vengan a levantarme lo más pronto posible de Texas.
Is there any way that I can sign a paper now that I'm talking to you so Texas can come and get me?
Yes, that will be the waiver form.
Sí, ese sería el formulario de renuncia. Firmando el formulario de renuncia.
Is it your desire to sign the waiver?
¿Quiere usted firmar el formulario de renuncia?
¿Qué tantos días se llevarían para venirme a levantar?
And how many days will it take for them to come and get me?
Again, that's something that I don't know because I'm not in Texas.
Una vez más, eso es algo que yo no sé porque yo no estoy en Texas.
From a statutory standpoint, they have a 30 days at a minimum.
Por ley, ellos tienen un mínimo de 30 días.
They can request an additional 30 days.
Y ellos pueden pedir que le den 30 días adicionales.
Okay. Sí acepto firmar esta hoja, me conviene más.
Yes, I will sign it because that will be best for me.
Okay, so the deputies will present you with the waiver form, and once you sign the waiver, you'll be free to go back.
Okay, los alguaciles le van a dar los formularios de renuncia y después que usted lo firme, se puede retirar.
Okay, Ms. Bermudez, it was pleasant as always. Hope you have a great day.
Thank you. You as well, Judge. Good seeing you.
All right, let's switch over to the ladies' side.
Come on, Ms. Banks.
Okay, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second, ma'am. Are you Miss Banks?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of theft by receiving stolen property, 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce, 1 count of use or possession of drug-related objects, and 1 count of crossing the guard line with drug-related objects. I've set a total bond for you at $15,000. You believe in post that bond, ma'am?
Yes.
You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for July 12th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, can I do that when I come back?
I'm sorry, ma'am, would you repeat that?
Can I do that when I come back?
Yes, ma'am. If you want to hire your own lawyer, represent yourself, that is totally upon you. I'm going to just write down for my record keeping purposes that you're going to hire your own lawyer, okay?
Okay.
You have any questions for me?
Nope, you said that bond amount again was how much?
$15,000.
Okay,
All right, ma'am, you're free to go back.
thank you.
What's your name? On Lisa Ford. You have to speak louder. On Lisa Ford.
I'm sorry, ma'am, would you say that again?
On Lisa Ford.
Ford. Okay. Okay, ma'am, you've been charged with one count of stalking. I've set the bond at $1,000. You believe you can pay? Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yeah.
You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You have any questions for me?
I don't.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you. State your name.
Brenda Greenwich.
Say that last name again, ma'am.
Greenwich.
Greenwich. Ma'am, you've been charged with a number of offenses. It appears to be 7. Violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, use of possession of drug-related objects, possession of weaponry and commission of a crime, possession of firearm by a convicted felon, carrying a weapon concealed without a license, tampering with evidence, and crossing the guard line with contraband. Your total bond looks like your total bond is going to be $23,500. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There's going to be a preliminary hearing that's going to be set for July 12th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, please.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
I do not.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you, sir.
Have your name, ma'am?
Victoria Pendleton.
Okay, so ma'am, I have a question about your case. The way that the warrant was written, it seemed unclear to me. Okay, so ma'am, I'm going to set a bond at $5,000 on this. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
I'm also going to place a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from Kimberly Williams and Jennifer Williams. So you understand that?
Yes.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back. Your name, ma'am?
Jariana Southward.
Okay, ma'am, you've been charged with one count of criminal trespass. The bond is going to be set at $3,000. You believe you post that bond?
Yes, sir.
There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Eric Pounder. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir, that's gonna be it.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you. Sedation Whitaker.
Is Miss Quarles OTB?
No, that's the inmate I chat you about, Jessica Coral.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to put her on for tomorrow.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Whitaker, ma'am, you've been charged with one count of family violence battery. The bond's been set at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Brandon Ringer. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to do the a continuance order for Ms. Quarles. Her charges are ones that are immediately bondable, so if she bonds out between now and tomorrow, that's fine. If not, then we'll deal with her tomorrow. All right,
Yes.
thank you for your assistance and have a good day.
You too. Thank you, Judge.
Okay. All right, let's go to the mail side.
You might say Ashley.
Okay, Mr. Ashley, sir, you've been charged with aggravated assault by strangulation, family violence battery, and obstructing or hindering emergency telephone call. Not setting a bond on the aggravated assault charge. I'm setting a $5,000 bond on the battery charge and a $2,000 bond on the obstructing or hindering charge. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for July 13th. No, I'm sorry, July 12th at 8:30 in the morning. I'm also going to give you a bond hearing date for July 16th at 8:30 in the morning. There's going to be a stay away provision to stay away from Brianna Williams. Do you understand that, sir? Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You do qualify, Mr. Ashley. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
Yes, sir. Usually I have a bond for 2 of those charges, but no bond for the first one. So am I able to bond out or not?
No, you're not.
So I'm here till July the 12th, since I go to the court date.
So your lawyer can contact the district attorney's office and can have discussions about your case. Based on the allegations that I have before me, I'm denying bond. It could have been worse than what is written, or it could have been less than what is written. Your lawyer is going to have to be the person to advocate on your behalf with the district attorney's office as it relates to that. And if they decide, hey, it's a lot less than what was written down, we're going to consent to it. Judge sign off on it, and you'll be able to get out before that date. Okay. Anything else? Okay. You're free to go back, sir. Tell me your name, sir.
I'll say this now.
Mr. Campbell. Sir, you've been charged with improper lane change, driving vehicle without a valid license, battery, and giving a false name, address, or date of birth. I have a total bond set for you at $5,500. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, I'm going to find you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me? All right, you're free to go back. Are you Mr. Cole?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cole, sir, you've been charged with failing to yield at a stop sign, a violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, 2 counts, crossing the drug line, guard line with contraband. I've set a total bond at $8,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Maybe, sir.
Okay. There are some felony offenses that are included in here. So you're going to have a preliminary hearing date for July 12th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, sir, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
What was the total bond, sir?
$8,500.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. You, Mr. Colton. Okay, sir, you're charged with 1 count of battery, 1 count of aggravated assault by strangulation. I am unable to set bond on the aggravated assault by strangulation at this hearing. I've set a $5,000 bond on the battery charge. I've also placed a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from an Ariana Brown. Do you understand that? There's going to be a preliminary hearing date set for July 14th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get, well, if you're able to I'm putting the cart before the horse. You're going to have a bond hearing date that's set for July 16th at 8:30 in the morning. And the thing that I was saying about putting the cart before the horse is that your lawyer can negotiate with the district attorney's office and they can reach a consent bond. And if they reach a consent bond, that hearing date for July 14th will get waived. Do you plan on, do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, I got a lawyer.
Okay. So tell your lawyer those dates. If your lawyer is able to negotiate with the district attorney's office and you're able to bond out, those dates will get waived. Okay. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Colton?
July 16th. What's the other one?
July 16th was the bond hearing date. July 14th was the preliminary hearing date. Okay. All right. Anything else, sir? All right. You're free to go back. All right, Mr. Duffy, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, damage to property. Bond's been set at $3,000. You believe you can post that bond? There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from a Samia Edwards. Do you understand that? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, sir, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
Can you repeat the total price again?
I'm sorry?
Can you complete my the total price again for me?
The bond is $3,000. Okay, anything else, sir? Okay, you're free to go back.
Good morning. My name is Nathaniel Elder.
Mr. Elder, you're charged with a DUI is a second offense. DUI refusal and failure to stop. So normally, as a judge, Mr. Elder, I have to set bonds as to each offense. DUI second offense is generally $10,000 as a starting point for the bond. But they basically charge you twice with the same thing as DUI refusal and DUI second offense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a bond at $5,000 for the DUI refusal, $5,000 for the DUI second offense. And that'll get to the $10,000 for the DUI second offense. I don't believe in punishing people just because you can. So you're gonna have a total bond set at $10,500. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. The date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
I have one.
Okay. Do you have any questions of me, Mr. Elder?
No, thanks, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir. Mr. Hurd, sir, you're charged with one count of theft by taking and one count of theft by receiving stolen property. I've set a bond at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? I'm sorry. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? I'm sorry. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry, I got to get my paperwork together. Okay, I apologize, Mr. Hurd. You do qualify for the appointment of lawyer. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. The step by taking is written out as a felony offense. So you're going to have a preliminary hearing date of July 14th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out. If you're unable to bond out, then that date will be held. It's a theft offense. Your lawyer may be able to negotiate with the district attorney's office to see if they can get you out earlier. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Hurd? Okay, sir, you're free to go back. Are you Mr. Loud?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Loud, sir, you've been charged with one count of criminal damage to property in the second degree. Bond's gonna be set at $4,000. You believe you can post that bond?
No, sir.
You said no?
No.
Okay, there's gonna be a stay away provision on this bond, stay away from Aaliyah Loud. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Loud, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for July 14th. It's being written up as a felony. Saying damage to property is over $500. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Loud?
No.
Okay, sir, you're free to go back. Mr. Lucas, do you understand what you're charged with, sir?
Yes, sir.
I'm unable to set bond on these offenses at this stage. I'm going to set a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for July 14th at 8:30 in the morning. I'm also going to set a bond hearing date for you for July 16th at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Lucas, you do qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. And there was some background. I didn't understand if that was coming from you or it was from the background. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You go. Next.
Oh, okay. I thought he had a question.
Well, you got some more for him, you?
I'm sorry.
You have anything else for him, or he finished?
Well, no, I thought he had a question. If he has a question, I'll answer it. If not, then he's done.
He said he don't have one, Your Honor.
Okay. He's free to go back.
The next one you got,
Mr. Parker?
Yeah.
Okay, sir, I understand that you're, is it your sight impaired?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Totally blind in one eye, and my right eye, I can't hardly see.
okay. Mr. Parker, would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently employed, Mr. Parker?
No, sir.
Okay, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Because this offense is a felony offense,
Sir.
you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that is gonna be set for July 14th at 8:30 in the morning.
Okay.
I am going to double check right now to make sure that you are eligible for bond. These are some strange facts for me, Mr. Parker.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Parker, are you currently receiving any benefits such as SSI?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I really, I'm not able to work because I can't read. And problem with reading and stuff. Your Honor.
The concern that I have about your case is as it relates to any decisions by the court and whether that may impact your status as it relates to receiving benefits. So I'm trying to be careful about the decisions that I make.
I appreciate your consideration, Your Honor.
I just need to, I'm going back. So I have to go through a number of these. I'm going back to make sure that I understand your situation in a real time standpoint. So what I mean by that is, if this is the 20th time that you've been charged with this, then maybe my bond consideration needs to change as it relates to whether this is.
You're saying excuse me, sir, you're saying I've been charged 20 times for this?
No. I'm looking back, and that's what I'm going. I'm looking back because
Right. I was
as a judge, I'm charged with making sure that the decisions that I make are for the safety of the community as a whole, bearing in mind the fact that you're presumed innocent of these charges. And so I want to make certain that I'm making a decision that is based upon the best information. And for some reason,
sounds like headache medicine time.
but that was at 6 o'clock this morning when I got started. Okay, so what I'm going to do, Mr. Parker, is I'm going to set your bond at $5,000. Do you believe in posted bond, sir?
I don't think so, sir. I don't have no help on the outside. So I probably won't be able to get out. So I'll be riding the storm out, so to speak, Your Honor.
And so I cannot, and I do not ask people about the facts of their case because you are presumed innocent at
Right.
this time, and this is being recorded. And I would much rather appoint a lawyer to you to talk to the lawyer about what happened than have these questions. But it's it just, this does not make sense to me. I can't square it. As I say, I can't figure out how you got charged and you're now in jail. Generally, Mr. Parker, that means you were, in a general sense, that you were a real butthole at the scene, and there was no talking anybody down, and there was a whole bunch of cussing and all kind of stuff that generally leads to people getting arrested in the scenario that I see before me. Because basically police officers, they have the ability to arrest you, and you piss them off, they're going to arrest you.
Yes, sir.
I can't. I can't. I have a sight impaired person before me who's alleged to have pulled a knife out on someone in Kroger, at an aisle in Kroger. I cannot understand that. I can't. So aggravated assault, Mr. Parker, generally you're looking at $20,000, $15,000 bond.
Yes, sir.
Let me look one more time, because from what I'm looking at, I get your criminal history, and from what I have before me, unless I am missing it, your criminal history is not included.
I didn't understand that term, Your Honor.
I'm sorry.
I didn't understand the last term you said, Your Honor.
You did not understand your what?
The last word the word you was using about my record, Your Honor, I didn't understand.
Yes. So at the beginning of every morning, I get everybody's criminal history that are going to be on my calendar. It's generally about 500, 600 pages that I have to go through. And your name is at sort of a cutoff. And so I have to go back between a couple different documents, and you are not appearing, which is sometimes is an oversight. Let's see, maybe I may have you, hold on. Because, and the thing that the reason I make this effort is I try to be fair to everyone that appears before me, but I also have a duty to the public, and I don't.
I understand that, sir.
I have Patton and I have, and it goes to Ringer. So I don't have Parker. And at the end of the other document, oh, here we go. I have you. So, Mr. Parker, you have a pretty healthy criminal history.
I
And I'm just stating, I'm not stating that for you to have a response, because I'm not asking for a response. So I'm gonna keep the bond at the $5,000 figure, which is the extreme low end of a bond that I was set. Okay, so you're charged with aggravated assault in 2017, and it was reduced down to simple assault. So I'm going to keep the $5,000 figure, Mr. Parker, and I need you to understand this. Had you been convicted of aggravated assault from that 2017 case, I would not be, by law, I would not be able to set you bond, and you would have to sit in jail. So, as they would say, a word to the wise is sufficient, Mr. Parker.
sir.
Don't pull knives out if that's the case or whatever, because you're kind of on that end of being denied bond and sitting in jail. And so I don't know if you're going to be able to post this bond or not, but I'm going to set a bond of $5,000. I'm going to place a stay away for you to stay away from 5664 Jonesboro Road, which is, my understanding, the Kroger. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Parker?
I think I understand what you're saying. I can't go in that store no more.
No, you cannot.
Okay.
And I don't know the circumstances of what happened here, but I'm appointing you a lawyer. You're gonna need to speak to the lawyer about what happened. But based upon what I'm seeing about your criminal history, and when I say criminal history, it's the cycles, it's interaction with law enforcement. It's not that you've been convicted of these things or not, but just whenever there's an interaction, it's created, as they call it, a cycle.
Okay.
Just kind of calm yourself down, Mr. Parker. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
Will the lawyer get in touch with me, Your Honor, before the preliminary hearing?
The lawyer should. So, because this is a felony, it's going to be the the Clayton County District. Jesus Christ, I'm all over the place. It's going to be the Clayton County Public Defender's Office that's going to represent you.
Okay.
If you have not received contact from them in a couple days, you need to contact them. And they'll get the paperwork today that they have been assigned to represent you. So that'll be the place to call and say, hey, my name is Michael Parker. I'm your client. I need to speak to someone that's representing me on this case.
All right.
Any other questions, sir? Okay, you're free to go back.
Brandon Ringer, sir.
Have your name again, sir?
Brandon Ringer, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Ringer, sir, you've been charged with one count of family violence battery. The bond's going to be set at $5,000. You believe what's that bond?
Yes, sir.
There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Khadijah Whitaker. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
You do qualify, Mr. Ringer. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
No, sir. $5,000 is not that cheap.
Yes, sir. All right, you're free to go back.
Yeah.
My name is Joseph Robinson, sir.
Okay, Mr. Robinson, sir, you've been charged with one count of simple battery, one count of pointing a gun at another, and one count of terroristic threats or acts. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for July 14th at 8:30 in the morning. The date will get waived upon your bonding out. As it relates to the bond for these charges, there's going to be a $3,000 bond for simple battery. There's going to be a $2,000 bond for pointing a pistol at another. And there's going to be a $3,000 bond for terrorist threats or acts, which is a total bond of $8,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond, stay away from Jasmine White. Do you understand that? Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? I'm sorry? Okay. All right, sir, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have a question? Any questions for me?
One question, you said $8,000 bond and full, right?
Yes, sir.
That's no other question, sir. Thank
Okay. All right, you're free to go back. Are you Mr. Scott?
No, sir, I'm a recheck.
I'm sorry?
Scott go first before somebody else.
Travis Scott.
Okay, Mr. Scott, sir, you've been charged with one count of simple battery. Bond's going to be set at $4,000. You believe you can post that bond?
Maybe, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing that's going to be set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, Mr. Scott, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. There's also going to be a stay away provision on this bond. And it's handwritten, and I can barely understand handwriting, but it looks like it says Brenda Robertson. I'm not asking you to, do you know Brenda Robertson? Okay, so it appears is that that's the person that's named as the victim. But again, the handwriting is so terrible that I could barely make it out. So, yes, sir.
Brenda Robertson.
Okay. So there's going to be a stay away provision, Mr. Scott, as it relates to that. I don't know the nature of your relationship with Miss Robertson. If this is like an anomaly or anything like that, she can contact the solicitor's office and seek to have the stay away provision to be modified, either to a no violent contact or for it to be removed completely. And if that's an agreement between the parties, between the district attorney's office and your lawyer, then a judge will sign off on it. Okay. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Scott? Okay, sir, you're free to go back. And you are Mr. Smith.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Smith, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of family violence battery, 1 count of simple battery, family violence, and 1 count of cruelty to children in the 1st degree. And the cruelty to children in the 1st degree is a felony offense. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
So you're gonna have a bond set at $5,000 for the family violence battery, $3,000 for the simple battery, family violence, and $5,000 for the cruelty to children in the 1st degree. So that's going to be a total bond of $13,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Maybe.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for July 14th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. There are going to be special conditions on this bond to stay away from Princess Amara Smith and Ivana Norwood. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Smith, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Smith?
When can I talk to this lawyer?
I'm sorry.
When can I talk to this lawyer, sir? Like, when will I be able to talk to the lawyer?
So I honestly, I can't tell you. I don't know when they come over to the jail or when they have those interactions. The assignment is going to be made today. So when I'm done with this hearing, I prepare all the paperwork and I send everything off to all the different people. So they will get notice today that you are their client, and it's going to be the Clayton County Public Defender's Office. If you have not received word within 2 days, I would contact them and say, hey, I need to speak to my lawyer. And if you're not satisfied with that, then maybe you have to look around to see, other alternatives. And I'm sorry, I wish I can give you better information, but that's the best information that I have. Anything else, sir? Okay, you're free to go back. Are you Mr. Stewart? Okay, Mr. Stewart, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of simple assault. I'm setting the bond at $3,000. You believe you can post that bond?
Sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out. You get a new court date in the mail. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from an Abigail Whitehead. Do you understand that?
Sir.
Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Stewart. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
Appreciate you.
Okay, you're free to go back. You are Mr. Tate?
Sir.
Okay, Mr. Tate, you've been charged with 1 count of family violence, battery, and 1 count of criminal trespass, damage to property. I've set a total bond at $8,000. You believe you can post that bond? You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from is it Jatiah Jeter? Do you understand that? Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, sir.
You're going to hire your own lawyer?
Yeah, she's already hired.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Tate?
No, sir.
Okay, sir, you're free to go back. Are you Mr. Taylor?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Taylor, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of family violence, battery, bonds when set at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
There's going to be a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. The date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. There's also going to be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from so I'm not going to put a stay away provision on the bond. The alleged victim is your child, is that correct?
The alleged victim is, nah, I'm the child. That's my father.
Are you George Maurice Taylor III?
No, sir. I'm the board.
Okay. So, so let me, I heard you say that you were the alleged victim.
So I said, I'm the son. I'm not the victim. I'm not, however you said.
Okay, so what I have, what I'm reading, and correct me if I'm wrong. It has in some, I mean, this is from 2019. So it says George Maurice Taylor the fourth intentionally hit George Maurice Taylor the third with an extension cord. And you said you're George Maurice Taylor the third.
No, I'm the fourth.
You're the fourth. So when I said I wasn't going to put a stay away provision on, you said you're the victim.
You asked me, was I, you said something about, was you is the victim of the child or something? I said, no, I'm the child. He's my father.
Oh, okay. So let me ask you this one more time. I'm sorry. And I've been up for a long time today, so I apologize for being a bit obtuse. Just to make it clear, you are George Maurice Taylor the what? Fourth. Okay. And George Maurice Taylor the third is your child?
No, sir. That's my dad. Like, I'm named after him.
Okay. Okay. How old is your dad?
Like 40, I want to say 48, 49, something like that.
And how old are you?
27.
Okay. All right. So I am going to leave a stay away provision in place for you to stay away from George Maurice Taylor the third. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out. And you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
All right, you do, let's see. How much do you make per hour?
11.
All right, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You have any questions for me?
No, sir. Just one. What was the bond again?
It's $5,000. And I do apologize, Ms. Taylor, for being a bit obtuse about these facts and details, but I appreciate your patience.
No problem. No problem.
Okay, sir, you're free to go back.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Walker?
No,
I'm sorry, tell me your name, sir.
Mr. Wheeler.
Say that again.
Mr. Wheeler.
Wheeler. Okay. Mr. Wheeler, sir, you've been charged with one count of family violence battery, one count of false imprisonment. You're gonna have a total bond set at $10,000. You believe you can post that bond?
I have to holler at my family Let's see, most likely, yeah.
Okay. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Because the false imprisonment charge is a felony charge, you're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for July 14th at 8:30 in the morning. The date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Siobhan Jernigan. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions for me, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Thank you, man. Ezekiel Walker.
Mr. Walker, sir, you've been charged with driving on suspended license, driving with no tail lights, giving false name, address, and date of birth, and obstructing an officer. I'm gonna set your total bond at $4,000. You believe you can post that bond? I'm sorry?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for July 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
You can, sir.
All right, you do qualify, Mr. Walker. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
That's the whole total bond overall for all charges.
Yes, sir. 1,500 for the driving on suspended license, 500 for no tail lights, 1,000 for false name, address, or date of birth, and 1,000 for obstruction of an officer. Now, you need to be aware that there are fees that the sheriff's department is required by law to add to this bond. So it's going to be a little bit higher than what I quoted you.
Okay.
Okay.
Most likely not. I know you're appointing. But yeah, I will step in.
Mr. Walker, you were buffering. So after you said most likely, I didn't hear anything else after that.
I'm sorry. I was saying that most likely I have an attorney on retainer. I just haven't been able to reach them. So when I do actually reach them, that probably will change.
Okay. And all you have to do is let the appointed lawyer know that they're being discharged, they're being fired, and you're going on with your counsel of choice.
Okay, so it's 4,000. And 4,000 what?
Plus fees. And I don't have access to that schedule, but the people that are in the bonding unit, they have access to it, so they'll be able to tell you the exact number. And I do believe the bonding companies also have access to it, so they'll know.
Okay, again, so how much was it again?
$4,000.
Thank you.
Okay.
Matt Zaragoza, sir.
You're Mr. Zaragoza. Sir, you've been charged with one count of defective headlights, one count of citation to be signed, one count of obstructing an officer. The other bonds are set by $500. I'm gonna set $500 for the obstructing. So it's gonna be a total bond of $1,500. Hold on one second. Okay, so I'm going to dismiss the obstructing an officer charge. The other two were brought. So let me ask you this question. My understanding is that the lowest amount that a bonding company will write a bond for is $1,000. I'm inclined to dismiss this citation to be signed charge also, but what that means is that you'll have a $500 bond, which you'll have to pay out of pocket.
Okay.
If I were to keep this citation to be signed, it'd be $1,000 bond that you can then pay probably 120, let's say $200 max out of pocket. I'm gonna give you the choice. You tell me.
I just had a simple question, sir.
Yes.
Either way, it's still the same process of time, correct? I was saying it was.
Okay, you were buffering a little bit, so I didn't hear it. Can you repeat that?
Yes, I was asking is if I go through a bond or whether it's cash up front, would it still be the same processing time out of here?
Yes.
Okay, then yes, I'll go for the 1,000, sir. Thank you for your fairness.
That's fine. I mean, I'm you know, as a judge, I'm here to be fair to both sides.
Appreciate it.
And I don't see, this is something that I would dismiss this citation not to be signed, but at the same time, it could place you in sort of an economic situation where you're actually paying more to get out to have the charge dismissed, and if you keep the charge and it's dismissed later. So you're gonna have a bond set at $1,000.
Thank you.
And you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for July 13th. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Now, the benefit of coming through this process is that if you want, do you want me to appoint you a lawyer? Or you want to hire your own lawyer? Okay, you do qualify. Sir, I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir. Thank you for everything.
Okay, you have a good day. Okay, so we have one more person. The person, he came down from the clerk's office with Miss Bernie. Let me. Here's an add-on. And let's see. His LE number is 1772730. It's a fugitive that apparently was never placed on. Mark Swindle Perella. And I do apologize for not alerting you to that earlier on. But he's a person that is a fugitive from justice that I think has been in custody since May 19th.
Okay, can you give me the LE number again? I got 1772770.
Let's see, 1772730.
30. Okay.
And I'll just stand by until you guys can pull him and we can deal with him. We'll be done. And I do apologize for the length of today's hearing.
Do you have a waiver? You gonna send a waiver paper so I can?
I will make sure. Let's see. Do you want me to email it to you? Because
let's see. Yeah, you can email it for a minute.
Okay, give me your email.
It's, Rodney.Burley@ClaytonCountyGA.gov.
Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna forward you the email that Miss Bernie sent to me.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha. All right, I just sent it.
Okay. And I go get it.
Okay, I'll stand by.
Okay, thanks.
Come on, let's pull it front.
Let's see right there. You still there, Your Honor? Let's see, can I get him back? Okay, Your Honor, I got him.
I'm here.
Okay, I got him.
Come on, back.
Okay. Give me 1 second. You are, is it Mark Swindle Perea?
Right, yes, sir.
So my understanding is that you were arrested on May 19th.
Yes, sir.
And you have not appeared before a judge yet. Is that correct?
No, sir.
Okay. So you are here on what's called a fugitive from justice warrant. And what that means is that you have not committed any crimes in Clayton County, but you're being held by Clayton County on a warrant out of Bergen County, Hackensack, New Jersey, for FTA, failure to appear on intimidation, and that they have indicated that it is their desire to extradite you. So what, you were not present when I gave my whole spiel or script to the first appearance people, but you have the right to remain silent. You have the right to indictment by a grand jury. You have the right to a lawyer. It's a limited right in this regard for a lawyer to be appointed, but you have the right to see and compel witnesses to testify against you, to see and hear, and you have the right to offer evidence on your own behalf. Where we are now is a situation where you have a right to demand an extradition hearing. And basically what that means is that you have the right to demand a hearing to determine whether you are the person named in the warrant and whether the charges that are currently alleged to be pending against you are true charges. So today you can say, Judge, I want to have that hearing. And sometime within the next 30 days, you will have that hearing. And the purpose of that hearing is not to determine whether you're guilty or innocent. The purpose of that hearing will be to determine whether you are the appropriate person named in that warrant and whether those charges are true charges. So, and when I say true charges, it's like whether those are charges that exist under law. If at that hearing, the judge determines that you are the person named in the warrant and these charges are charges that exist under law, the judge will sign off on the warrant, and then the state of New Jersey will have 60 days, up to 60 days to come and get you. The statutory period is 30 days, but they have a right to request an additional 30 days. So at the end of that hearing, the judge signs off. The sheriff personnel within Clayton County will contact New Jersey and say, hey, come and get him. They had the initial 30-day period. If they don't come within the 30-day period, they can request an additional 60-day period that they may or may not receive. And let's say that at the end of either one of those periods, they do not come and get you. The sheriff of Clayton County will release you out the front door. Doesn't mean the warrant has been dismissed. So 5 minutes later, you can be sitting at the bus stop. Police officer come up to you. They run your information. They say, hey, you got a warrant for your arrest out of New Jersey. Process starts all over again. You also have the right to waive that process. If you believe you are the person named in the warrant and you believe that there could be a warrant for your arrest out in New Jersey, you can say, look, all right, I want to waive it. I'll waive it, and that 60-day window that I discussed earlier begins today. And again, same thing applies. At the end of that 60-day period, if they don't come and get you, you'll get released, but the warrant will not be dismissed. And so you can still face those same issues. Do you have a lawyer representing you up in New Jersey? Do you have a lawyer representing you as it relates to this?
Oh, but I'm at right on my own. Is this a fourth degree charge? I'm a municipal court.
I'm sorry, would you say that again?
It's a fourth degree charge in a municipal court.
So Georgia does not have those kind of degrees. So when you say it's a fourth degree charge, it doesn't necessarily square one-to-one with what I can tell you. What I can tell you is that what is written on the paperwork is that it says that there is a failure to appear for some charge as it relates to intimidation. So what I gain out of that is that you were charged with something, you were given a court date, and that you didn't show up, and they put a warrant out for your arrest. And so I'm not going to ask you to go into that because that's between you and your lawyer. But that's what it appears to me as to when I'm reading what I'm reading is how this charge got generated. Does that ring a bell with you?
Absolutely.
Okay. So is this something that you, well, first of all, do you have further questions of me about this?
I've been done with Clayton County for about 7 days now, a week. So what if my time start for 30 days when I'm done with Clayton County? Because I've been sitting here for all these days. I don't think that in the state of nowhere that a person should sit for this long and the time don't count. So if I waive my thing today, this is my time. How does my time start from 30 days today when I'm just sitting here for 7 days being held because I'm a fugitive? I just don't understand. So my thing is, should I go about getting a lawyer? What should I do? Should I what? I don't, I mean.
So as a lawyer, speaking as a lawyer, I tell everybody you need to hire a lawyer because that puts money in my pocket, right? What I can do is there is a mechanism within the law, and it's called nunc pro tonc, which basically I can sign the waiver today and I can write nunc pro tonc to the date that you would have come before me. Now I can put that as May 20th. So the clock will begin to run from that day.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I also tell people, I had a person telling me one day where he had warrants out of like 5 different jurisdictions, and he was complaining about why he wasn't, picked up on the right date on this time. And it's like, dude, if you got warrants in 5 different places, you ain't got to worry about that. I mean, it's, so I will, and tell me how to pronounce your name, because I don't like slaughtering people's names.
My name is Mark Ferrera, but they got my whole name hyphenated, which is on my ID because I have a joint middle name. So it's Mark Anthony Swindle Ferrera.
Okay. So it's okay for me to call you Mr. Pereira?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Pereira, I give people their due respect with their name. Mr. Pereira, I will, if you want to, if it's your desire to waive, I will nunc pro tonc it, which means I will send it back to the beginning of the clock ticking as to May 20th. But you also have the right to have the hearing. And I have no interest in which desire that you have. My only duty is to make sure that whatever wish you desire is carried forth. So do you have an understanding right now as to what you want to do?
So basically, if I waive my choice, if I waive it, you'll not talk or
Nunc pro tunc.
You do that for me up to the 20th, and then you'll just send the paperwork down here. So basically, it's just a waiting game now to see if Jersey's going to come or not. If they don't come, they'll release me from Clayton County, and like you said, I could be at the bus stop. They run my name, and the process starts all over.
That's correct. And like I said before, you know, if you get released, it doesn't mean the warrant goes away, because with the Hartsville airport is in our jurisdiction, and we get people all the time who they got warrants out and they go try to get on the airplane and they get arrested and come down. So is there something that ultimately you should take care of? And it says failure to appear. So that's something that you probably can, you know, just.
It's mine. Yeah.
Yeah. It's you know, if you, like, if you were my client, it's probably I would call up to Bergen County and say, hey, look, he put him on the next court date. We'll be there, and the warrant will get, you know, taken away.
Because I have because I've been telling my wife to call down there. They've been calling, I have a friend that's been trying to call down the sheriff's department down in Bergen County on Main Street, and they said they think they might lift the warrant. So that's really what I'm trying to get done here today.
And I'll tell you this, generally, if it's like a family member or somebody calling in, they take it less seriously than if it's like, hey, this is Attorney Gardner. I'm representing Mr. Pereira. We understand this is pending. He's serious about resolving this. We just need you to withdraw that warrant, put us on the next court date. And because it's less expensive for them to withdraw the warrant and for you to show up. But they're not going to do it if it's your mom or your wife or, you know, that kind of, because it's like, yeah, we're not going to take that seriously.
John, may I ask you a question? How, because my wife is new to this, how should I tell her to go proceed with the with trying to get me a lawyer or somebody in New Jersey? Should I have just call the lawyer's office in New Jersey, look around, see if you want to take my case?
Yes. Now, I'm assuming if the warrant is out of Bergen County that you may have lived there. Okay. Generally, it's best to have a lawyer that is in that county, that knows people, that can pick up the phone and just conduct business over the strength of their phone call.
Okay.
It's not like if I were to call, if you hired me and I called up to Bergen County, I get treated the same way as your wife would get treated, because they don't know me. Okay. So it's like you got to deal with this from an intentional standpoint, in a way that you're taken seriously and your issues are taken seriously. And that sometimes that costs money. Anything else, Mr. Pereira? Okay, so Deputy Burley, did you get the waiver?
Yes, sir, I got it.
Okay, so Mr. Pereira, he's gonna have you sign those waivers, and then they're gonna send it over to me, and I'm gonna sign it, and then the clock will start ticking as of the 20th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Any other questions, sir? All right. You're free to go after you sign those.